Ask an ETA searcher what diligence costs on a sub-$10 million acquisition, and they will usually quote the invoice. They will point to the $25,000 to $75,000 they pay their quality of earnings provider and their transaction attorney. That capital outlay is real, but it masks the heavier penalty. The true drain on your resources is the 60 to 90 days of an exclusivity period that steadily burns away. During those weeks, your advisory team is stuck manually reconstructing books that were never properly kept in the first place, and you sit in a holding pattern, answering the same questions from your investors while the pressure mounts. The actual price of standard diligence is the steady, irreversible erosion of your time and your negotiating leverage. Put yourself in the buyer's seat. You are staring down thousands of disorganized contracts, disjointed leases, and fragmented emails, and the exclusivity clock is ticking down to zero. Operating in that specific environment triggers a severe psychological mechanism known as cognitive overload. Decision science research is explicit about what happens next. When a human mind attempts to parse massive volumes of disorganized text under extreme time constraints, it statistically degrades. You become highly likely to miss fatal liabilities buried deep in the documentation. To cope with the stress of that manual labor, your brain compensates. You begin to overvalue highly theoretical post-close synergies simply to justify the painful, exhausting effort you are expending to get the deal done. You might feel like you are being incredibly thorough. The data confirms your core judgment is actually failing. This chart breaks down the autopsy of failed transactions. Notice this isolated red segment. 46% of broken deals trace back directly to findings that better data processing would have surfaced before the crisis point. Let's look closer at that segment. 25.3% of letters of intent break entirely from non-QoE findings. These are hidden legal liabilities, undisclosed customer concentration issues, and problematic vendor contracts. These are document failures. Someone either did not read closely enough, or they lacked the tools to read the evidence at scale. Moving down the chart, another 21.3% of failures stem from QoE EBITDA discrepancies. The seller proposes aggressive add-backs, the buyer's accountants reject them, and those rejections collapse the fundamental valuation. Once those discrepancies surface, they force renegotiations. Those tense, defensive conversations ultimately kill another 14.7% of active deals. Even if you survive renegotiation, the deal can die at funding. Lenders running parallel diligence for SBA 7A loans frequently reject those same adjusted cash flows. Transactions rarely fail because the underlying businesses are worthless. They fail because buyers lack the processing power to extract reality from the paperwork. Now consider the person on the other side of the table. A founder selling their business of 20 or 30 years is facing the end of their professional identity. When a seller drags their feet on providing basic financial records or suddenly becomes rigid on minor contract terms, buyers often interpret it as calculated obstruction. Usually, it is intense anxiety. It is grief in slow motion as they watch a stranger prepare to take over their life's work. Here is the fatal flaw of manual diligence. If you are drowning in thousands of pages of unorganized data, you have absolutely zero mental bandwidth left to manage the fragile psychology of the seller. This is exactly where modern AI-assisted virtual data rooms act as a mechanical solution to the bottleneck. The technology immediately ingests messy, disorganized seller uploads. It categorizes every file and automatically extracts critical clauses like change of control provisions. In practice, this compresses what used to require 40 to 60 hours of manual analyst review into an immediate workable baseline. Look at this progress bar mapping clause identification. AI reliably handles the heavy lifting, halting at roughly 85% accuracy on standard language. It intentionally passes the baton to human counsel to close that final gap. AI cannot evaluate cultural risk, gauge founder dependency, or read context. Its entire purpose is to clear the logistical noise so your advisors can actually do their jobs. The strategic advantage is preparation. You arrive at your legal and QoE advisor meetings already equipped with sharper questions and fewer surprises. Top-tier acquirers use these tools to rapidly cross-segment operational data. They uncover patterns and anomalies that a standard manual reading would miss entirely. The goal of diligence is rapid translation. You are converting disjointed evidence into an operator-grade decision model. You deploy this technology as a risk mitigation engine designed specifically to buy back time inside your exclusivity window. Master that translation process, and you stop merely surviving the trauma of diligence.